Coming up, what was supposed to be a fun and interactive experience quickly turned dramatic for the town of Vinton. We're going to tell you about the controversy surrounding the naming of a new park. Our Ian Roth breaks it all down for us. Then Attorney General Ken Paxton is threatening legal action against runaway Democrats who abandoned their legislative duties. What it all means. And we've been seeing triple-digit highs, in fact, extreme heat in our area. Robert, are we in for a little bit of a relief?
Monica, 2 more days of excessive heat before finally it starts to come back down. And what about those thunder showers? Will they return with a vengeance this weekend? We're live on KTSM Plus, and your news starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 News, your first digital show. I'm Monica Cortez. Well, 2 weeks ago, we told you about a new park in Vinton, right? And that there was this online vote to name that park after one of 2 people, Coach Jose Medel or Sergeant Alfredo Martinez. Well, in the 2 weeks since, the community has become torn, and what was supposed to be a fun and interactive experience quickly turned dramatic. Today, only on 9, KTSM anchor Ian Roth has been following this online war of words, a viral Instagram post, and the allegations of tampering. Check it out.
3 weeks, 2 local men, 1 vote. A park in Vinton on Keeley Road up for naming in the form of a friendly public vote on the city's website. One of the 2 finalists is Alfredo Martinez, a U.S. Army sergeant who tragically passed away while posted at Fort Cavazos. The Army originally ruling his death a suicide, but in the months after, more questions arose. Now another soldier is facing a trial for allegedly murdering Martinez. The other, Coach Jose Medel.
You know, things that come to mind when I think of him is just how much he cared for the kids here at this school and all the work that he did, you know, not just, you know, out of his 9 to 5, but everything outside of the work, outside of that 9 to 5.
In the first days after the vote was put online, Coach Medel jumped out to an early lead. Only a few thousand votes separated the men. Then, a post to the popular El Paso Instagram page FitFam, which heavily featured Martinez's story and image. That post was liked over 11,000 times and shared by more than 400 people. After the post, votes to the website came in the thousands. Also coming with the post, controversy.
Not just myself, but my family. I think we've been just really torn about kind of the process, especially the way that it's played out and kind of how it's shifted into, outside of the Vinton community. It's shifted to, how, essentially a popularity contest.
I was contacted by sources close to the situation who alleged that the Martinez family had paid FitFam to post. FitFam responding to those allegations saying, "We were not paid anything for the post, nor was that ever brought up." However, FitFam did confirm to me that they were asked to post about Martinez from his family. Votes started rolling in, not just from the El Paso area, but all over. 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 votes, climbing higher and higher and higher.
The security measures posted on the site, it just, it doesn't allow for, appropriate representation.
Those security measures, or the lack of them, ushered in new allegations in the past few days of the website being hacked to send more votes to Martinez. FitFam telling me they didn't know about the hacking, but did say the vote was, quote, open to the public and had no limits or bars to participation. That final vote, a little more than 48,000 for Jose Medel, more than 148,000 for Alfredo Martinez. For reference, the city of Vinton has a population of 2,200. I reached out to 3 members of the Martinez family about the voting, all of whom denied my interview requests. Before their council meeting tonight, the city told me, quote, This campaign was never meant to create disagreement or division. Instead, it was designed to bring us together and celebrate the spirit we all share as a community. We deeply respect the legacies of both individuals. For the Medell family, they're left with frustration.
It probably shouldn't have been a popularity contest. It probably should have just been, submit your life story, how you contributed to the community, a list of accomplishments of why you should be recognized, and then probably been decided by like the leaders of the community.
And Ian Roth joins us now live from Vinton. Ian, I know there's been a lot of talk online about this vote, especially around the allegations of the website being hacked. Can you explain to us what is going on at tonight's City Hall meeting?
Yes, Monica, let's start with some of those allegations about the website being hacked. Those same sources that I mentioned in the story told me that towards the later days of the vote, that Sergeant Martinez, if you ended up clicking his name to vote for, that he would receive 10 votes. If you clicked on Coach Medell's name, he would not receive 10 votes. He would only receive 1. Now, as for what's happening at City Council tonight, they've decided to meet and go over this vote with the public. They're inviting folks from Vinton and the surrounding areas to come and share their thoughts or memories about these two people. I'm expecting fireworks here tonight. I'm expecting a lot of passion in the room as well. I'm going to try and talk to some City Council members about the vote, about what went down. And of course, I'll have that all coming up at 10, Monica. So an exciting night here in Vinton, to be sure.
We'll definitely be following this story closely. Thank you, Ian Roth. All right, let's go ahead and take a break from the headlines and take a look outside. This is what we are seeing right now. Guys, it is incredibly hot outside. You just open the door and you're met with this gust of hot air, if that is even a thing. I don't know. It's just so evident. Chief Meteorologist Robert Bettis is joining us live now. And okay, Robert, so it's so hot that even if I open my door a little bit to my house, it heats up the whole house in a matter of minutes.
I know. And nature knew that you went on a trip to Chicago where it was a little bit cooler, and
Way
you get off
cooler.
that plane and gotcha, Monica.
Yeah,
welcome home. Welcome home.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yes, KTSM is extending that weather authority alert through Thursday with this excessive heat. Yes, we added another to the misery meter today. Now it's 29 days of triple-digit heat. This is the one I'm watching here. Right now it's 104 at the airport. However, if we go to 105, we're going to have to make that an 11 in that column. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 103 Van Horn, 100 Las Cruces, 106 Juarez, 104 Deming, 102 in Alamogordo. 104 at the airport right now. We've got a dew point at 27. That's only 7% relative humidity, and 99 in Las Cruces. We remain under this dome of high pressure. It's blocking all the cloud cover, blocking the storms. Here's a look at tomorrow. I'm dropping the high tomorrow down from 108 to 107. Still an extreme heat day. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and take you outside now using our tech stock cameras. And this is a live picture of I-10 Viscount. So things are starting to move a little slowly here. Nothing really to slow us down, which is great news for us. So if you're on I-10 McRae on the east side, a big 2 thumbs up. Well, coming up, Texas AG declaring that runaway Democrats who abandoned their legislative duties actually vacated their seats. More of that in our comments segment. Then Amazon, they're expanding their business model to include, get this, pre-certified owned vehicles. Yep, that's right. They're going to be selling cars now. We'll tell you all about it in a little bit. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 News Plus, putting local first. Welcome back, everyone. Well, for today's In the Comments segment, we are talking about the redistricting issues happening in Texas. Attorney General Ken Paxton announced this afternoon that he will seek judicial orders declaring that Democrats who abandoned their legislative duties have vacated their seats. Now, with Speaker of the Texas House Dustin Burrows setting a Friday deadline for the absent members to return, and just this morning, U.S. Senator John Cornyn sent a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel to investigate and hold fleeing Texas legislators accountable. Now, the letter does encourage federal cooperation with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and state law enforcement to investigate potential criminal acts, including bribery. We did share this story over to our social media accounts, and many of you guys had lots of thoughts you wanted to share. We start off with Andy Ceniceros, who says, does this mean they can arrest Ted Cruz for leaving the state twice during environmental disasters? Christopher S. Thompson writes, fight on, we will not stand for gerrymandering. And Dick Reel says, if I walked away from my job, I'd get fired. Eloy Thayas writes, can only hope they leave for good. Well, those were your thoughts, and if you want to join in on the conversation, just head on over to all of our social media platforms and tell us what you think. We'd love to stay in connection with you through the comments. Well, next, an elementary school in Las Cruces has opened the doors to its new reading cafe. We take a look at this, and this is KTSM 9 News, First at 4.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone. So it's so funny. We all know Mr. Robert does not control the weather, but I feel like he does sometimes.
That's for sure.
And so I just want to say, Robert, why?
Why?
Why did you make it so hot?
And when will it end? It's going to end. It's going to end this weekend.
Okay.
Our thunder showers will be back.
Good.
But before we get to those thunder showers, which are much needed for our lawns, let's
Yes.
take a look at your lawn, which has benefited very much
From the rain.
From the rain.
Yes.
So here is a picture of Monica's
I know,
lawn
I know.
before her cousin mowed. Now,
Totally right.
so Daniel didn't want to do it. Now, you don't even own a lawnmower.
No, we don't. And
Okay,
so
okay,
we
okay.
got the grass
No problem.
without getting
I
the
understand.
lawn.
You know, a lot of people have large lawns and don't have a lawnmower.
Yeah. That's as
But
big as it is. It's
no,
very
no,
small.
okay. And then your cousin got in there, and
Yeah.
let's see that after.
Ta-da!
Oh yeah,
But it looks
yeah.
dry. Why does it look dry?
Because you've cut it real short, and it needs
Ew.
a little water after you, and it needs fertilizer. When was the last time you fertilized?
I don't even know what it looks like.
Okay, so we need to. I need to come over and do a yard intervention.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do a whole segment on it. I feel.
We're gonna do yard 911.
There you
where
go.
I will. Hey, that would actually be a pretty good show.
That would be a great show.
I could come in. I'm like, ooh, no fertilizer in the lab, but you've lived there a while now, so
Yeah, I know.
Okay, it's time to
Sorry.
get that fertilizer going. We'll take care of it. It's looking great. Just make sure you run the sprinklers on your day as soon as possible. 104 is our temperature at the airport right now. And at this point, actually, if you have a lawn, it might be a good idea to hold mowing until the weekend ahead. Maybe mow on Saturday, because honestly, I try to time it. If it's going to be very hot, you want your lawn to stay longer for a while. It's better for it. And then when you know the rain is coming or it's going to cool down, go ahead and mow that yard. Here are the high temperatures today. 106 so far Juarez, 101 Las Cruces, 104 Deming, 102 Alamogordo, just as expected. Another day of pure, raw misery with this heat. We've got that dome of high pressure, and look how clear it is to see now. We've got thunder showers right next to Tucson. We've got thunderstorms out here in Culberson County, and you can see the whole thing just circulating around that high. Well, the high didn't go anywhere tomorrow. It's not going anywhere Thursday, it's not going anywhere Friday, and now it looks as though Saturday it's going to hang around. So we still have several more days to be concerned about this heat. In the orange color that you see there, that is a heat advisory. That's officially posted all the way through tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the evening. Here are the temperatures in your area right now. Now that high pressure is going to reach its crescendo tonight at about midnight, and then it will slowly start to pull back a little bit over the next few days. Now, I've got sort of some good news for tomorrow. I'm pulling the high temperature back 1 degree to 107 for our Wednesday. And here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast. Lots of sunshine, maybe an occasional cloud, high level. Otherwise, that heat advisory in full effect for tomorrow as well. Allergy-wise, it's been very much the same all through summer in the 9s, which of course is the high range. Here are your low temperatures tonight. We're going down to 71 Alamogordo, 66 Deming, and 78 for Juarez. Of course, once that sun sets, it's so pretty outside. Nice and dry, clear skies, light winds. 102 your high for Alamogordo tomorrow, 104 Deming, 108 for Juarez, and 105 for Van Horn. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, 72 your low temperature under clear skies. Tomorrow, you're under a heat advisory again. I suspect your high will be about 104. Tonight, 77 at the International Airport, and then high temperature tomorrow, 107 degrees of extreme heat. Now, coming up within 30 minutes, I'm going to have your exclusive 9-day forecast. We'll talk about the storms returning with a vengeance by Sunday night. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, so if you're a fan of the Strokes, well, listen up. The band announced yesterday that they will be performing right here in El Paso and Las Vegas this October ahead of performing at the Austin City Limits Festival. So the Strokes, they posted on Instagram that they will be at the El Paso's Abraham Chavez Theater on Wednesday, October 1st, and fans can sign up now for pre-sale. Tickets do go on sale this Friday. Nice. Well, check this out. Jornada Elementary School in Las Cruces has opened its doors to its new reading cafe. Now, the school says that it's a cozy and welcoming space where community volunteers are invited to listen and read with students. The cafe, converted from a former classroom, is open to students and staff every morning. The principal says that they are looking to also open during recess periods. Oh, that sounds so amazing. All right, so in consumer news, you can now buy a used car on, get this, Amazon. The company is expanding its auto business to include used and certified pre-owned vehicles, launching initially in Los Angeles. Dealers can now list their inventory on Amazon, and customers can browse deals while shopping for everything else they can buy online. Amazon is promising customer protections, including a 3-day, 300-mile return policy and minimum 30-day, 1,000-mile limit warranty. Amazon is starting with Hyundai dealers and already has a pre-existing relationship with the automaker. Now you truly can buy anything on Amazon. Well, that does it for us here on KTSM Plus. Don't go anywhere. We still have another half hour of news and weather on KTSM 9 News first to 4. Welcome back to KTSM 9 News First at 4. Well, tonight, new developments in the Texas redistricting fight that's expanding across the country. President Trump is weighing in. California is planning a counter move, and some leaders are calling for the FBI to get involved. Here to break it all down is Washington, D.C. correspondent Hannah Brandt.
For now, Texas Democrats have blocked a vote on new maps by taking refuge in Democrat states. But this fight is only escalating as political leaders jockey for an advantage in the 2026 midterms. Although Texas Democrats' strategic travel successfully prevented Monday's vote on redistricting, state leaders seem confident they'll eventually be able to approve new maps that could hand Republicans 5 additional congressional seats.
While our work may be delayed, whether it's tomorrow or next week, the House will complete its required duties.
The Texas House issued arrest warrants for the absent Democrats, and Governor Greg Abbott authorized state troopers to track them down and bring them back. And now Senator John Cornyn is asking the FBI to help state law enforcement with those arrests.
Well, they may have to. They may have to.
I'll pay that price for America. And I think everyone behind me would say they would do the same.
This battle has national implications. If Texas Republicans are successful, it could give their party a major advantage heading into the 2026 midterm elections. And holding on to control of the House is crucial if GOP leaders want to continue advancing President Trump's agenda.
We have an opportunity in Texas to pick up 5 seats. We have a really good governor, and we have good people in Texas, and we are entitled to 5 more seats.
But Democrats are fighting back. In California, lawmakers are considering a plan to undercut Texas changes by redrawing their own maps to create 5 new Democratic districts.
Now is not the time for one party to play by the rules while the other party has completely ignored them. So they've decided to cheat. And we're going to respond in kind.
The governors of New York and Illinois have also suggested they're open to redistricting in their states to give Democrats more seats. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
And amid all of this, Attorney General Ken Paxton announced this afternoon that he will seek legal action against Democrats who abandon their legislative duties and declare that they have vacated their seats. This with Speaker of the Texas House Dustin Burrows setting a Friday deadline for the absent members to return. Just this morning, U.S. Senator John Cornyn sent a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel to investigate and hold fleeing Texas legislators accountable. Now, the letter encourages federal cooperation with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and state law enforcement to investigate potential criminal acts, including bribery. And this afternoon does mark the second official day of the Texas Democrats' quorum break to stop redistricting legislation. The Texas House once again tried to gavel in, but only 8 members were present, short of the 100-member threshold to conduct business. State Capitol reporter Adam Schwager, he talked to a quorum breaker in Chicago and the Republicans in Austin trying to bring her back.
When Texans don't show up for work, guess what happens? They get fired.
State Senator Mays Middleton filed a bill on Monday to remove all Texas legislators who miss more than 7 straight days of work. His bill, along with all others, is currently held up without a quorum in the Texas House.
It's outrageous. The people of Texas elected us to do a job. Unfortunately, our Texas House Democrats think they have an exemption from that.
Leadership Chairman.
In the meantime, several House Democrats are proudly in Chicago, continuing to host public events despite Republican threats to bring them back.
What they are threatening to do, first off, is not legal in Texas, and they have no authority to take our freedoms that way here in Illinois either.
While they're safe from Texas authorities in Illinois, U.S. Senator John Cornyn asked FBI Director Kash Patel to help locate and arrest the quorum breakers.
John Cornyn is acting outside the bounds of the law. It should scare every single American that a U.S. politician, a U.S. senator for that matter, would undertake that kind of surveillance on Americans.
When the House convened Tuesday afternoon, 8 Democrats reported to work, 2 more than yesterday. And as Republican threats of bribery charges accumulate,
what you can't do as a state representative is you can't receive money to violate a duty to the state of Texas.
Democrats say they're undeterred.
I'll pay that price for America. And I think everyone behind me would say they would do the same.
After the roll call vote was taken, Attorney General Ken Paxton announced he's going to take unprecedented legal action to try to strip those quorum breakers from their seats. The Texas House will reconvene and try again on Friday. In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
And today, the remaining members of the Texas House Flood Committee heard their first 5 bills to respond to the tragedy in the Hill Country. None of those bills can come to a vote until at least 4 more Democrats return to Austin. All right, let's talk a little bit about weather now, because I feel like that's all we've been talking about these last few days, how hot it's been in the Borderland area, and it looks like we might continue this trend. Let's go ahead and send things over to Chief Meteorologist Robert Bettis.
Yes, unfortunately, the bearer of bad news here. We're extending that weather authority alert all the way through Thursday, and that's when I believe finally the extreme heat will begin to break.
But we're still in the triple digits, you said.
Oh, look at the airport. Yeah,
no.
And we're not even done heating today. I'll have the official high temperature later for you, about 6 to 6:30 tonight. Yep. 104. So even if you're used to being outside right now, exercise extreme caution, please. Might want to wrap your day up a little bit early if you do work outside. It's just the afternoons, especially between 4 and 6, are just downright miserable. Here are the temperatures right now in your area. We've got ranges from 102 up to about 106 right now out in Fort Hancock. Now we can expect that high temperature to level off right close to about 108 this afternoon. Tomorrow, I believe that dome of high pressure is still in place. We're still going to have extreme heat. We still have a heat advisory. I am dropping our high for tomorrow 1 degree down to 107. And then we go down another degree to 106 on Thursday. 104 Friday. Finally, thunder showers begin to cool us down at the beginning of next week. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, in developing news, a 47-year-old man is now facing animal cruelty charges after a video recorded about a year ago shows disturbing images of him abusing a small dog. So according to El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Charles Lee Lipscomb, which is you're seeing right there on your screen, he is now facing 2 charges of cruelty to non-livestock animals. The Sheriff's Office says Lipscomb was already in jail on unrelated charges and was rebooked into the El Paso County Detention Facility. Officials say additional charges may be coming. Now, if you want to see the unedited footage provided by officials, it is on our KTSM.com website, but I have to tell you there are several viewer warnings that come with it. The Sheriff's Office reports the dog is in good health and is now with its rightful owner. Well, to our border report now, DACA activists detained at the El Paso airport. Immigration advocates are calling for their release after advocates Catalina Xochitl Santiago was quote, abducted by federal agents. Now, the El Paso area activist was detained on Sunday at the airport on immigration charges while she waited to board a flight out of El Paso. According to friends and colleagues who have started a GoFundMe account for her legal fees, say that the Movimiento Cosecha activist and Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals beneficiary was carrying a work authorization document when she was detained. Santiago has since been transferred to a federal immigration processing center. Sympathizers are now preparing for a drawn-out legal fight, and more than 1,000 people had donated an amount above $45,000 to the page as of this morning. And for more on this story and everything else happening on our borders, just make sure to visit borderreport.com. Meanwhile, the city of El Paso's intervention in El Paso Electric's proposed rate increase takes an important step this week. An administrative law judge will now conduct a hearing about El Paso Electric's proposed rate increase starting this Thursday. And the hearing is scheduled to last all the way until August 15th. This will include testimony and cross-examination from El Paso Electric, the city, and other third-party participants. The city said that the Public Utility Commission of Texas received El Paso Electric's rate increase back in January, and the utility referred the case to an administrative law judge. judge. As KTSM reported, El Paso Electric is seeking a $93 million increase to its annual revenues, which, if approved, could raise prices for consumers. The administrative law judge will issue a proposal for a decision in the upcoming months, and the Public Utility Commission is expected to make a final decision by January of next year. Well, in national news, most countries have a clear picture of the tariffs that they'll pay the U.S. to sell their products here. In today's Political Minute, News Nation's chief Washington correspondent Blake Berman has all the details.
A spotlight on new tariff rates. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. The Trump administration setting new tariff rates for much of the world late last week, set to take effect later this week. For countries that haven't struck a new trade deal with the U.S., the new rates can be as low as the baseline of 10%. The highest, Syria, at 41%. Some places like the European Union, Britain, Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, and South Korea have new rates set as part of bigger trade deals that they signed with the U.S. Mexico and China are in active negotiations with the U.S., so new rates not yet set for those countries. Now, the tariffs are bringing in more revenue. According to the Treasury Department, the U.S. collected over $29 billion in customs duties in July, the highest monthly total since the president's tariff policy went into effect. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Coming up, we all love Krispy Kreme donuts, right? Well, they've now officially entered the shoe game. More on this partnership in just a bit. Then judicial orders declaring that runaway Democrats who abandon their legislative duties vacate their seats. More of that in our comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 News First at 4, putting local first.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Krispy Kreme has officially entered the shoe game. Check these out. I know, their new Crocs collaboration, and the company has released its limited edition clogs inspired by the Krispy Kreme's original glazed donuts. One added sweet touch. The collab also features 5 gibbets charms. I don't know what they're called. Those little charms you put on your Crocs. The shoes hit shelves on Tuesday with a $90 price tag. I feel like that's standard, right? For Crocs, $90. I think that's a little expensive, but I mean, these look kind of cool.
There's more. Now the shoes that I'm looking at, they're not edible.
No, I don't think so. I
They're
mean, you can
actual
try,
shoes.
but I think it's all plastic.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, so you wear those.
On your feet.
You put little things on there that look like donuts. And let
Yeah, the
everybody
little
know.
charms. I didn't know they were called gibbets.
Gotcha. Gibbets?
I don't know. That's
I
weird.
don't own a pair of Crocs. Do you
You
have a pair of
don't?
Crocs?
Okay, so I don't own the traditional Crocs, but I wear like the ones that are kind of like girly. I don't know, they're weird.
Girly Crocs?
But my mom has them. My brother has Scooby-Doo Crocs. My mom has Star Wars Crocs. I mean, all sorts of stuff.
I have a pair of flip-flops. Is that like Crocs?
Can you put charms on them?
No, I can't.
Oh, see?
And nobody likes to see those. All right, let's talk about flip-flop weather. Oh my gosh. Here you go, Monica. Your misery meter. The misery continues to go up, and we're only going to add it for days all the way through Saturday, likely, of triple-digit heat, and most of that will be excessive heat. So we're in a real stretch. We knew that this dome of high pressure would build up and take us into these incredible high temperatures. So far, we have not put anything in this category. Of course, this would be our 11th day at 105 or hotter, and 29 triple-digit days so far this year. 107 Juarez, 103 Van Horn, 104 Deming. We've been at 104, 101 Las Cruces, 102 Alamogordo. Very similar temperatures again tomorrow. Phoenix, 111, 104 down in Laredo with high humidity. Midland, 102 in the Permian Basin there. We've got 101 in Las Cruces right now. Winds coming in from the southeast at about 7 miles per hour. Dew point 25, so that's 7% relative humidity. Satellite radar composite. You can easily see the circulation around this high pressure zone, and where that zone is breaking down over parts of Culberson County, we actually have a couple of isolated thunder showers trying to get going. All the orange color you see is the heat advisory that lasts until 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. Here is your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. I'm dropping it down 1 degree. I'm going 107 for tomorrow, but still a heat advisory and still dangerous levels of heat, so exercise caution. Allergy forecast, 9s across the board. That's been in the high range 4 days. 72 low temperature tonight for you, Las Cruces. Beautiful night. Once that sun sets, it gets really pretty. 104 your high temperature tomorrow. You too are under that heat advisory until 9 o'clock in the evening. 77 our low tonight at the International Airport. Clear, light winds tomorrow. Breezes come in from the south-southeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. 107 our high temperature for Wednesday. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. It's how we can warn you so far in advance of extreme weather patterns such as this one. 106 on Thursday. That dome of high pressure pulls back ever so slightly on Friday, but look at that. We're still 104, and then it sort of stays in place, allowing a few clouds to come in Saturday. 103, very slight chance of an isolated storm that night. Potentially strong thunder showers on Sunday afternoon and evening as the ridge breaks down. 99 the high. Humidity's back Monday, Tuesday. Late day thunder showers likely. Isolated storms on Wednesday and a slight chance of storms on Thursday, but at least we'll break that triple-digit heat. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic using our tech stock cameras, and this is what we're seeing. I-10 Yarborough, things are looking quite nice. Not a lot of traffic to slow us down here in East El Paso. Over on I-10 Loop 375 Far East, things are looking quite nice here as well. All right, so for today's In the Comments segment, we are talking about the redistricting issues happening in Texas. And Attorney General Ken Paxton announced this afternoon that he will seek legal action against Democrats who abandon their legislative duties and consider that they have vacated their seats. This with Speaker of the Texas House Justin Burrows setting a Friday deadline for those absent members to return. And just this morning, U.S. Senator John Cornyn sent a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel to investigate and hold fleeing Texas legislators accountable. Now, the letter encourages federal cooperation with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and state law enforcement to investigate potential criminal acts, including bribery. So, of course, we did share the story over to our social media accounts, and many of you guys had lots of thoughts you wanted to share with us. We're going to start with Andy Cenicero, who says, so does this mean they can arrest Ted Cruz for leaving the state twice during environmental disasters? And then Christopher S. Thompson writes, fight on. We will not stand for gerrymandering. And then Dick Riel says, if I walked away from my job, I'd get fired. And then lastly, Eloy Reyes writes, can only hope they leave for good. And here at KTSM, of course, we value all of your opinions and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back after this quick break.
Más las cruces.
Hello, my name is Katrina Godinez and I'm from the City of Las Cruces Community Engagement Program. And we are calling out all high school students who are looking for something to do this fall break. The city offers many opportunities to explore career paths, and one of the options is our Developing Youth Leaders Academy. This 5-day program for ages 14 to 18 lets you see your city at work. You will experience how Public Works maintains perfect timing on our traffic signals, how police use drones to catch bad guys, how utilities keeps our water flowing, and the massive amount of learning at our libraries and museums. Join us the week of October 6th through October 10th. For more information, please check out our website to register. Hope to see you there.
Más las cruces.
KTSM has issued a weather authority alert due to extreme heat that will be with us Wednesday and Thursday as well. High temperature tomorrow, 107, 106 on Thursday. It comes down a bit on Friday to 104. Still hot on Saturday with a few clouds, slight chance of storms, and then here comes the monsoon again with a vengeance potentially Sunday night. Strong thunder showers could be quite possible that day with a high of 99. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, let's go ahead and give you a quick preview of what's coming up at 5. The traditional STAR test, an exam that can take anywhere from 3 to 7 hours to finish, now sits in limbo at the Texas legislature's special agenda. Tirza Ortiz has that story. And plus, with more property valuations going up, tax bills will too. Why city officials say a small adjustment to an existing exemption can make a noticeable difference. Diana Castillo will have that report. And the proposed map would move Fort Bliss and the airport under a different congressional district, a move that El Paso representatives stress would impact El Paso's economy. Jesus Baltazar shares more on that. And this is all coming up in just a couple of minutes. That's it for me. I'm Monica Cortez. We'll see you all tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hair and wardrobe provided by